Hey guys, this is Ackleyattack4427 here with a brand new thoughts video for all of you guys, and yeah, I think it's about time that I pretty much go back to what I normally do with these thoughts videos, which is actually quite a big of an interesting one, because I know last week I actually did talk about a well-received Christmas movie on Netflix, so yeah, I think it makes sense if I go back to talk about theatrical movies for once, and yeah, it's just like I promised for these thoughts videos and such, so yeah, I figured for today's thoughts video, I think this Sunday right about now is a rather interesting one, because I've pretty much been gone all day out of my own house for once, just to experience some stuff that my family and I had to do. But yeah, believe it or not, while my family is out having lunch and whatnot, I've actually took the opportunity to spend a couple of hours while they're out to actually go see a movie that just recently came out this weekend that I finally had the privilege to of course go see. Well, so yeah, I think I know a lot of you guys are thinking, what movie did I go see this time? Well, believe it or not, I think this one is actually really special, and I've been pretty hyped for this movie ever since earlier this year. Well, believe it or not, I'm of course going to be talking about Jumanji: The Next Level. So yeah, this movie just recently came out over the course of this weekend, and yeah, I am aware this movie actually did get very mixed to positive reviews around the time, but more particularly on the former stuff. But yeah, just right around earlier today, I actually took the opportunity to spend the majority of my Sunday while I was out of my own house to, of course, go see this movie. So yeah, that's exactly what I did. Now before I get right on to talking about this movie, I think a lot of you guys are thinking, what do I have to share with, of course, my own experience with, of course, the anything related to, well, Jumanji. Well, believe it or not, I will have a bit of a history. I think I remember, I think the original Jumanji, which starred the late Robin Williams, I think looking back on it very recently, I think it's actually a pretty decent flick. Yeah, I think it's actually a pretty decent flick, in my opinion. Like, I really do admire Robin Williams in that movie, and the visuals and the effects looks amazing, and I really love some of the creative ideas they were going for, but the rest I just kind of felt is a little bit too predictable, awkward, or just both at the same time. So yeah, I really don't have a problem with the original Jumanji. I think it's actually a pretty decent flick, and I think it deserves a lot more recognition, and I do understand why a lot of people like it, in a nutshell, and of course, if you have recall my thoughts that I did on the movies throughout the first half of excuse me for a second or so. But yeah, if you have recall my thoughts video that I did last year, where I talked about the movies all throughout the first half of 2018, I actually did talk a little briefly about Jumanji: Welcome to the Jungle, which was, of course, the sequel to the original Jumanji, and I think just a little recap, in case some of you newcomers don't know, I actually really liked Welcome to the Jungle. I thought it was actually a pretty good sequel, and yeah, even though it does do some stuff that are much better than the original, I'll still prefer the original a whole lot more. So yeah, like I said, I absolutely thought Welcome to the Jungle was actually a pretty good movie. I really enjoyed it a whole lot. So yeah, I guess with that said and done, I cannot forget Zathura. That one I thought was actually pretty good too, even though it has pretty much a little to no connection to the original Jumanji movie, but hey, I think, I guess it makes sense for once, but, so yeah, I guess it's safe to say that, pretty much, like, my, time with, Pokemon, I think it's safe to say that, that pretty much, the entire, well, pretty much all the Jumanji movies, with exception of Zathura, they're about just as old as I am, or particularly the entire franchise is, yeah, the entire Jumanji franchise is just as old as I am, so yeah, I think it's safe to say that I do have a little bit of a connection with Jumanji. Some parts of it I thought were good, while the rest I just kind of thought were just awkward, but hey, I still had a good time with it regardless, so I think with all that said and done, I think we've now come to where we are now with, of course, the 4th installment in the Jumanji franchise, even though, quite frankly, it is the 3rd movie in the Jumanji film series, but hey, I guess with Zathura, I guess we could still count this movie as the 4th installment, so yeah, I guess if anything, I did manage to go see it very recently, just to actually see how it will hold up and see if it can be as good as the first one, because yeah, or the last one in particular, because I do recall I actually did get somehow pretty excited ever since it got announced, and though I did have a bit of concerns at the same time, as I fear it would be a bit too rushed for when it came out, kind of like what happened with Goosebumps 2. So yeah, but I guess regardless, I know when I saw the when I saw the trailers for this movie, I got super hyped for this movie, as yeah, I am pretty excited to see what they were going to do in it, and I really love some of the creative ideas that they were going for with this one. So yeah, I guess it's safe to say there is a bit of a hype in me for the new Jumanji movie ever since it first got announced, and of course when I saw the trailers for it. So yeah, pretty much takes care of that. Yeah, So yeah, I guess if anything, now that I've actually gotten that out of the way, and I did manage to go see it today, I know a lot of you guys are thinking, did the hype actually help out, or of course, was it worth it? Well, actually, truth be told, absolutely. So yeah, I guess it's safe to say the hype for this movie was actually worth it, and I guess in the end, with a really clever story, some interesting characters that have really grown a whole lot since the last one, and of course some brand new ideas, and not to mention some really great comedy, Jumanji: Welcome to the Jungle I thought was just, well, pretty fun. So yeah, I think it's safe to say I actually really like this movie, hands down. So, is it the best I've seen this year? No, but is it as good as Welcome to the Jungle? Oh, hells to the yes. So yeah, I guess it's safe to say I actually really like this movie, hands down. So yeah, I think yeah, like I said, it's not only mixed in with some of course, really great story and some really good ideas, and yeah, and of course the characters have grown since the last one, but it's even mixed in with some really clever ideas that will help further the idea in particular, and what new challenges would they go for. So yeah, I think it's safe to say it's pretty much my thoughts on this movie in a nutshell. So, but yeah, I guess if anything, story-wise, in my opinion, I think it's, like I said, it's actually a pretty good storyline, in my opinion. I think it's pretty much taking place sometime after the events of the last one, and of course our heroes decide to go back into the world of the game just to see what new challenges will have in store for them. So yeah, I guess if anything, I thought the story for this movie I thought was actually pretty clever. I think it's actually I really love some of the ideas that they have gone through, but I won't give away what happened, but I think I knew with the last one, actually, seeing of how Jumanji is now considered a video game, they of course had to tackle some things that a regular old video game would do, which I thought was actually pretty clever. But in the new one, however, I think I really love some of the ideas that they have gone through, not only sticking to what they did last time, but also incorporated some stuff that we know for sure happened in video games as well, like of course some brand new features that you can unlock, and of course not to mention some DLC packs that of course came out to go along with the game that you're playing. So So yeah, I think it's pretty much the main idea for the storyline for this movie in a nutshell. And I think I really love on how well it turned out, and yeah, and I guess if anything, the characters, I have to say, they are incredibly interesting. Both the old ones that have really evolved since the last film, and of course some new ones that of course came in. I thought they were actually incredibly well done. So yeah, I guess about anything, the characters, I have to say, they are incredibly interesting, and I really love on how well they turned out, and not to mention the actors, I have to say, they all pulled off really great performances. Like, I still really cannot get enough, of course, the four main avatars in the Jumanji game, those being Dwayne Johnson, Kevin Hart, Karen Gillan, and of course Jack Black. So yeah, I guess if anything, I still think the actors pulled off some really great performances in a nutshell, and not to mention the casting in this movie, I still think it's actually really well done, and I never thought I would say this, but Danny DeVito and Danny Glover together in a movie, more particularly this one in a nutshell, holy crap. I mean, holy freaking loving crap. That's actually brilliant. So yeah, I think I knew right away, Danny DeVito and Danny Glover together in a movie, really incredible. Cannot get enough of it. I love you to death. So yeah, I guess about anything, the casting on this movie, I still think they pulled off really great performances. Yeah, the actors pulled off some really great performances. Like, of course, not just the four main leads, and also Danny DeVito and Danny Glover in particular. Seriously, I cannot get enough of those two in a movie together. I think that is incredible. So yeah, not to mention, I think I still really love Nick Jonas in this movie. I think he does pull off a pretty fine performance in my opinion. And of course, not to mention the kids out in the real world. Like, I kind of forgot their names, but yeah, what was that guy's name that plays Spencer? Oh yeah, Alex Wolff. So yeah, and I do indeed apologize if I don't get the other actors that played the kids in this, but I still say they pulled off some really good performances as well. I think they actually did do a fine job. So yeah, and not to mention the writing, I have to say, it's actually pretty good. I really love how well they craft it, and not to mention, it's even mixed in with some really great comedy in a nutshell. Yeah, and I do recall when I actually did see this on the big screen, I did get really big laughs out of this one. I think the comedy in this movie actually does work incredibly well, and I really love on how well it turned out. So yeah, and I mean, there was no other, there was never one joke in this movie where, of course, I said, man, that's not funny. No, I actually did end up laughing all throughout the course of the movie. So yeah, I think it's safe to say not only with some really great writing, but the comedy as well, I thought was actually really spot on. So yeah, I guess if anything, I actually really like on how well they crafted this movie in particular, and of course, not to mention visually, the film looks really great. I think I still really love on. I think I absolutely really love on how they with this movie they actually expanded the entirety of the world of the game. So yeah, I think more particularly seeing of how in the last movie actually took place in the jungle. It actually I think we of course did venture out into of course the desert, and of course a really bizarre forest, and of course the snowy mountains, which I have to say is actually really great ideas to actually have the world of the game take place in. And I really love on how well it can actually expand into not just, well, the jungle in particular. So yeah, I guess if anything, visually, the film still looks really great, and I really love on how well they actually turned out with this one. So yeah, I think it's safe to say that it's the one thing I still really admire in this movie. Whew. Gonna need a lot out of me. So yeah, I guess it's safe to say out of all those aspects that I have to say, the majority of them oh, excuse me for a second. Boy, that's what I get for eating so much popcorn at the theater. I really gotta lay off on that, so... But yeah, I guess it's safe to say pretty much the main aspects that I talked about, those are some of the things that I really like in this movie, but the one thing I did kind of irk me a bit, as probably like of course my main big issue with this movie is that some other moments in this movie I just kind of thought were a little bit too awkward or a little bit too out of range in particular, but yeah, maybe it's just me talking, I really don't know, but I think it's the one thing that I actually did kind of irk me for a bit, and yeah, even some of the other moments that I don't think actually worked actually don't work in this movie, but still, you could have at least cut parts of this movie out and it wouldn't make a difference whatsoever, but I wouldn't worry about it too much, so, but still, yeah, I think it's probably the one thing that I thought was actually kind of iffy in my opinion with this movie, so, but yeah, I guess if anything, I think with all that said and done, like I said, if you actually mix in with a really good story, and of course some interesting characters, excellent performances from the actors, and of course not only some pretty great visuals, and of course pretty good writing mixed in with some really great comedy, Jumanji Welcome to the Jungle I thought was actually pretty fun, so yeah, I think it's safe to say, I think it's safe to say overall, I thought Jumanji The Next Level is, of course, a really good sequel, and I think it's actually, well worth checking out, but still, is it one of the best movies I've seen this year? Not exactly, but is it as good as Welcome to the Jungle? You bet your freaking ass, so yeah, I guess it's safe to say, even though it's not really the best in my opinion, I actually thought Jumanji The Next Level is actually a pretty good movie and really a really good follow-up to of course not just Welcome to the Jungle, but also the original Jumanji as well. So yeah, I think it's safe to say I think this movie is definitely worth checking out, and I highly recommend it hands down. Though I think I will give out one little thing without going into major spoilers in particular. But I will say this right about now. Speaking of the original, I will say this right about now. Someone who was in the original Jumanji actually made a cameo appearance in this movie. So, who is it, you may ask? Well, I'm not going to give away any spoilers in this movie. You'll just have to see it for yourself to know exactly who it might be. So yeah, I guess but yeah, I guess with all that said and done, like I said, Jumanji The Next Level, I thought was actually a pretty good sequel, and I think it's actually a pretty good movie in a nutshell. Like I said, it's not really the best in my opinion, but I will say it's actually as good as Welcome to the Jungle, and yeah, my opinion still stands that even though this movie and the last one that I talked about last year are both pretty good, I'll still, strangely enough, remember the original Jumanji a whole lot more. So yeah, I think it's safe to say if you're actually looking for another follow-up to, of course, the original Jumanji that is as good as the last follow-up that they did, while, of course, taking it in a brand new direction, then all I have to say is, of course, well, get yourself into the jungle in the game itself, and don't come out until someone rolls a 5 or an 8 to, of course, well, see this movie for yourself. So yeah, I think I knew I would probably get that solo reference out there, but still, I can't get enough of that. In the jungle, you must wait until the dice reach 5 or 8. So yeah, I guess if anything, I know I had to get that solo reference out there. So yeah, I guess if anything, for my final score right about now, I'm of course going to give this movie a 7.5 out of 10. So yeah, like I said, it's not really the best movie I've seen this year in particular, but I still think it's actually a pretty good follow-up to the original Jumanji, as well as the last follow-up that we got right around a couple of years ago. So yeah, I guess if anything, if you got the time, or actually have like, what, a couple hours of your time, yeah, I'm gonna say a couple hours, then I have to say, get to your movie theater and see it for yourself. So yeah, it's pretty much what I have to say. Oh, man. So yeah, I guess if anything, that pretty much wraps up my thoughts on Jumanji: The Next Level. Thank you guys so much for watching, and let me know in the comment section below on what you thought of Jumanji: The Next Level if you have already seen it, as well as leaving me constructive criticism and or advice on how I can improve my videos in the near future. And of course, as always, feel free to send me an email if you want to ask me any questions, or just want to book me for a con or event that'll be coming up pretty soon. And of course, follow me on my social media sites, like of course Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and plenty other social media sites if you want to keep up to date with me on updates, announcements, and new releases of my videos in the near future. And of course, subscribe to this YouTube channel and turn on the notification bell to see more videos like this. So yeah, that's pretty much about it. Thank you guys so much for watching this thoughts video, like I promised, and yeah, probably by the looks of it, I think the end of 2019 that will be getting closer and closer as we speak will actually be an interesting one, and I think it's safe to say that I'm almost done with, of course, seeing the movies that I would see for this year. I only got 2 more that I got lined up right about now that I'm gonna be planning on going to see, but I'm not going to reveal what they are exactly. But once I have them up, I'll be sure to let you guys know on what they are. So yeah, we'll probably know for sure later on. So yeah. But yeah, I guess it's pretty much about it. Thank you guys so much for watching this special thoughts video, and as always, I'll see you in the next video. So now, if you excuse me, I'm going to see if I can get some friends over to play, well, the actual board game version of Jumanji. And yes, I still have this thing for quite a while, ever since my family and I bought this off of eBay, so... But I still say it's actually a really worth treasure, so yeah, I'm gonna see if I can have some friends over to actually play this board game for once, because I love it so much, so yeah, take care.